I'm going to share my screen and we're going to take a look at this quiz together. So this is the course walkthrough quiz. I don't want you guys to panic when you see how many questions are in my quizzes. Okay, did anyone panic when they saw how many questions were in the quiz? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Did anyone panic? You did? Thumbs up. Thank you for your honesty. Don't panic, because most of these questions we're going to do in class. Okay? Most of these questions we're going to do in class, so no panicking. Okay, the first question you should already know the answer to, right? If you look right there, my name is right there somewhere down there. Okay, Mrs. Venus, that's me. Okay, so these are not trick questions. This is just to give you some information about the course. Okay, so no panicking. All right, so let's go back to the lesson. All right, so now you will notice on the top left-hand corner of this slide, we have a gold box and it says question 1. So whenever we have in-class questions, you're going to see these gold boxes and it will tell you what question can be answered with this slide. Okay, so you can answer question number 1 with this slide. My name is Mrs. Venus. I am your teacher. This is my 10th year at Insight. This is my 13th year as a teacher. My favorite subject is English, obviously, because I'm an English teacher. And my hobbies are reading and knitting. I'm currently working on a cardigan for my oldest daughter. I promised her that it would be done before she graduated high school. And she's graduating high school this year. So I got to get a move on with finishing that cardigan. It's taken me a while because it's a reversible cardigan with lots of designs on it. It's a video game themed cardigan. I'll show you guys pictures of it once I'm done. But it's pretty cool and it's taken forever. But I am this close to being done. So I will finish it before she graduates. I have a bachelor's degree in education from Kent State University, which is in Ohio. That's where I grew up. And I have a master's of education in online instruction from Southern New Hampshire University. So I have a lot of experience teaching online. That's where most of my teaching experience is. And that's what my master's was all about. All right. This is my family, my husband, my daughters. Okay. This is my oldest daughter, Piper. She's graduating this trimester. I'm so proud of her. And then my little one, she's 3. I need to update this picture because this picture was taken at the beginning of the school year and she's grown so much since then. It's crazy how big she is right now. And her hair is so much longer than it used to be. So those are my daughters. I also have a couple of dogs and I have pictures of them on the next slides. In the past, I didn't put the pictures of my dogs on the slides and people were so upset with me. So they want to see the dogs. So now I always include pictures of the dogs in my welcome lesson. All right, so there we go. Answer question number 1. You guys know who I am. All right, here are my dogs. So this little one is Mogwai. He's a Morkie. And the hoodie that he's wearing says security on it because he thinks he's a big dog. So he's our security guard. He'll bark if anyone comes near the house. And then Daisy, my pit bull, is just a weirdo. So there's my doggies. There they go. This is for question number 2. I have a couple different slides that shows how the gradebook is set up. It's very, very important. So you're matching up the percentages with each gradebook category. Okay. The 2 biggest chunks are the teacher graded assignments and the computer graded assignments. Teacher graded assignments are worth 45% of your grade. That's a big chunk of your grade. It's almost half of your grade. So make sure you are doing the writing assignments. This is an English class. You got to write something. Computer graded assignments are worth 35% of your grade. So those are going to be like the multiple choice type questions. Every once in a while, a computer graded assignment will have 1 written response question at the end, but because it's mostly multiple choice, it'll be in the computer graded assignment. Daily dives, those warm-ups are worth 10% of your grade. STAR 360 assessments, if you've been here before, you know what those are. We take those every trimester. You got to do both reading and math. That's worth 5% of your grade. Anyone who is brand new to Insight, and this is your first trimester at Insight, you will need to take the STAR 360 assessments at the beginning of the trimester and in May when the rest of us do it. Okay? Because they need a beginning data point and an ending data point. Admin will tell you when you need to take those, and then in May you'll take them. Excuse me. In May you'll take them in class in your first and second period classes, and your teachers will let you know when that will happen. And then Cougar Critical Skills quizzes are worth 5% of your grade. We do those on Fridays. Okay. So match those up. Here's another way to look at it. So again, teacher graded assignments are any writing assignments and quizzes that have a lot of writing answers to them. Computer graded assignments are multiple choice quizzes. Daily dives, remember they lock the Monday after they're due, the daily dives. And the reason for that is the whole point of those warm-ups is to give you points for participating. Okay, to give you points for being here. And so if they didn't lock, if they were available all trimester, someone could just come in at the end of the trimester and speed run all of it and get the points even though they weren't here for most of the trimester. So that defeats the purpose of having participation points. So make sure you come to class, make sure you do the daily dives at the beginning of class when we do them so you can get that 10% of your grade. And just remember, they do lock the Monday after they're due. So if you miss a live session, watch the recording, complete the daily dive, complete whatever assignment we did in class that day before the Monday after those daily dives are due. Because once they lock, that's it. You can't take them anymore. Cougar Critical Skills we do every Friday, 5%. STAR 360, 5%. Okay? Match those up. If you miss any of this in class, you can also look at the grade book to see these percentages because they are in there. Okay. Here's another way to look at it. Sometimes seeing it as a pie chart is helpful. You can see how big of a chunk that pie actually is. So those TGAs worth 45% of your grade, that's a big chunk of your grade. Okay, so make sure you are doing the writing assignments. Make sure you are doing the multiple choice quizzes because that's worth most of your grade. Okay. All right, on to question number 3. I set this slide up so you could visualize when we're going to do the daily dives and the Cougar Critical Skills quizzes. So they're all warm-ups, but the daily dives are done on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then the Cougar Critical Skills we do on Fridays, and it's a review of the warm-ups that we did on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, we will always go over the daily dive warm-ups so you can get the answer. And then on Friday, you're quizzed on it to make sure you learned it. Okay, you are responsible for completing the daily dives every day, even if you miss class, no matter what. So being absent, not an excuse. Okay, we record everything. So you can watch the recordings, you can complete the daily dives, work on whatever quiz we worked on. So if you miss a live session and you have to watch the recording, treat that recording like a live session. Actually answer the questions, participate. You can type stuff in the chat box too during the recordings because it's interactive. Okay, so treat it like you're in a live session. Okay. So you are responsible for completing the daily dives, even if you miss class. I've had students in the past type in the Writing Wednesday section that they were absent that day and submit it like that. Don't do that. Okay, you're not going to get points if you do that because you can watch the recording and then complete what you need to complete. Okay. Here's the way my live sessions will work every single day. We will do the warm-up first thing, then we will look at the calendar, then we will look at content. So that's the part of the lesson we're on right now. And then on Wednesdays, I will remind you at the end to complete the Writing Wednesday prompt. In the past, I didn't put the prompt in the daily dive for the Writing Wednesdays. I'm trying something new this trimester, and I am putting the prompt in there. So you can answer it at the beginning of class if you would like to, but I will still remind you guys just in case, because I know there will be some people who, after we do the warm-up, will forget about it. So don't forget about those. I will remind you. Okay. All right, so what should you do if you miss a live session? And I'm just going to give you guys whiteboard tools because Engagely does not like this slide today. What should you do if you miss a live session? Let's circle those answers. I want to see lots of participation. What should you do if you miss a live session? Right, there we go. Watch that recording. Treat it like a live session. Complete the daily dive as you're watching the recording. Work on the assignment as you're watching the recording. That's why I put all the links in the chat box. So if you're watching a recording, you can get those links in the chat box during that playback room too. Okay, so all of them. Watch the recording, complete the daily dive, work on the assignment that was discussed in the live session. Okay, fantastic. All right. So now, question 5 is all about participation. Participation is super duper important, especially when we have smaller classes. And this is one of my smaller classes. There are only 12 people in class today. I have had classes where I had 35 people in class, right? So there's going to be a lot more participation naturally in a class that big. But when there's only 12 people, that means everybody has to step up and participate. Okay, I promise you class will be way more fun if everybody participates. And there's different things you can do to participate. Engagely tracks how much you participate. And we can look in the admin portal for our sessions to see exactly how much you participated and how many questions you answered, how many times you typed in the chat box, things like that. I can look that up, which is pretty awesome. So make sure you were doing everything possible for Engagely to track that participation, because one of these days we are going to be able to use that data from Engagely to give you guys participation points. We don't yet, but one of these days we will. Okay. And I want you guys to be prepared. Okay. So you could, let me get a pen tool out here. You could take notes because Engagely will know that you're typing something. If you're taking notes, Engagely has a really cool notes section. If you look at the bottom of the screen to the left of the chat icon, there's a notes icon. If you open that up, it'll open up a notepad and you can type in there. If you want to take notes, only you can see the notes. I don't have access to the notes. No other student can see the notes. They're just for you. Okay. You can take screenshots of the slides in your notes, which I think is super cool. You can also download your notes once you're done. And if you forget to download your notes in class, you can go into the playback room and your notes will still be in the playback room and you can download them from there. It's pretty neat. All right. You could also turn on your camera if you wanted to. Have you guys ever had a day where you're in class and that's all you can give? Like you didn't have it in you to do anything else except be there? Have you guys ever had a day like that? Yeah. So you could turn on your camera that day so then at least I know you're still there. Even if you don't type in the chat box or do anything else, if I can see you, then I know that you're still there and maybe I can see you nodding or something, or you can give me a thumbs up, right? So that will be super helpful. I don't like when people log in and then I hear nothing from them and I don't see them or anything. That's the tough thing about teaching online. It's not like having you in front of me. You know, if this was a regular classroom, I could see everybody, right? I could wake you up if you fall asleep, but I can't do that online. I wish I could. I wish there was a way to like poke you guys through Engagely to make sure you're there. All right. You could also write on the board. I'll give you guys whiteboard tools every once in a while. Whenever Engagely's polling tools don't work, we'll use the whiteboard tools. So I love Engagely's polling tools. So answer those. If you ever see those buttons on the board, use them. And you can also type in the chat box, which some of you have been doing, which is fantastic. So all of these options are available for you to participate. So select all of those in your quiz. But what if you don't know the answer to a question I ask? Because that'll happen, and that's okay. It's okay if you don't know. You can still participate, even if you don't know the answer. Just be honest with me. I don't expect you guys to know everything. I don't know everything. I don't know that I want to know everything. That would be that'd be a lot to know everything. That'd be crazy. I don't know everything. And I don't expect you guys to know everything. So if you don't know something, just be honest with me. Just tell me. You could put an emoji in the chat box. Okay, so let's practice that. Let's try. So let's select the emoji icon. It's a little smiley face next to where you write in the chat box. That will open up the emoji menu. And pick an emoji that you could put in the chat box to tell me that you don't know the answer. I think. In the chat box. We're going to use the chat box. There's a little smiley face icon next to where you type in the chat box. Click it, open up the emoji menu. And there we go. There's a confused guy with a question mark. Okay, we got a smiley face. That doesn't tell me you're confused. That might tell me that you're excited about what we're talking about. Question mark is good. I'm going to show you the one I like. Where is it? This guy here. There we go. I like that guy because he's like, I don't know. All right, an exclamation and a question mark. Earlier in another class, we had this one. So we had brain fart. Someone put that in the chat box. Okay, so if I start seeing emojis like this when I'm talking, that's going to tell me that you guys don't know, and that's okay. So maybe I need to explain it in a different way, or I need we need to look at it in a different way or do something else. Okay, so don't be afraid to tell me that you don't know. All I want, where's my pointer? There we go. All I want is for you guys to try. Let's see how many of these we can get done today. So, where are the recordings? This is not a trick question. Tell me in the chat box. Where are the recordings? The answer's on the board. So remember yesterday when we talked about the My Schedule tab, you can see a weekly view of your Class Connect schedule, and you can click the period and the recording link and then join the playback room. Okay, so it's in the Class Connect schedule. Keep in mind, because Friday is a minimum day, Fridays will have their own playback room that will be separate from the other days, because we had to schedule Friday sessions separately because of the time difference. Fridays will have their own playback room. So if you need to watch a recording from a Friday, make sure when you go into that weekly view, make sure that you are clicking a Friday link to get to the Friday playback room if that's where you need to go. If you go into a playback room and you don't see a recording, you're probably in the wrong playback room. Okay? Is that clear? Yes, no, maybe so? Hopefully. Okay, thumbs up. Awesome. Okay. So, what's in the weekly announcements? Every weekly announcement will be set up the same way. We will have a screenshot of the weekly calendar so you can see what's coming up, what we're doing that week. Anything due will be in red. I will have links to any assignments that we're working on, even if they're not due that week. If we're working on it, the link will be in there. Just like this week, the course walkthrough quiz isn't due until Monday, but the link is still in the weekly announcement because that's what we're working on. The directions for the playback rooms are in there, so that video that we just watched is embedded in the weekly announcement, I need to update this screenshot because this was from trimester 1 before I embedded that video, but it'll be in the playback room section of my weekly announcement. You'll see it. I also have the links to all the daily dives that we will complete that week. Any important content that I want you to view will be linked in there. Little short videos and things like that will help you learn whatever it is that we're talking about. And then at the bottom will be the Engagely live session schedule. So you always have access to when the periods start. Okay, so select all those in your quiz. And grades tab, we already kind of talked about this when we finished the warm-up. Your overall grade will be at the top. You will see a link to every single assignment. There's also a link to the directions for the playback room. I embedded the video in the gradebook as well, right above the daily dives section of the gradebook. You'll be able to see your grade for each assignment. When you complete an assignment, it'll say attempted. In the completion status, it'll say pending evaluation on the right until it's graded. Then if I put feedback, that feedback will also be on the right-hand side. Okay, so click all of those as well. Okay, and we're almost done. We have like 1 minute. So real quick, questions 9 and 10. We're going to be reading a book called Night by Elie Wiesel this trimester. It's a very short book. It's only 115 pages. We're going to listen to the audio in class, and I also have a highlighted PDF version of the book. So if you did not receive a hard copy of the book, that's fine. I want you to use the highlighted PDF anyway because all the answers for all the questions are in there. Okay, and then the writing that we're going to do this trimester, you're going to write your own personal narrative. And we'll work on that in class. So questions 9 and 10, Night by Elie Wiesel, personal narrative. We will also have written response questions for the checkpoint quizzes for the book. So every chapter will have a checkpoint quiz, and there will be a written response question at the end of those quizzes, as well as a final night short answer quiz at the end that has 2 written response questions. Okay. And I know we're just about done, but these are the last in-class questions, so I'm going to go over them very quickly. This is the serious stuff. Plagiarism and AI are no-nos. Plagiarism is taking someone else's work and passing them off as your own, and that's a violation of the Honor and Ethics Code at Insight and can result in disciplinary action. So don't plagiarize. AI-generated text is not allowed to be submitted. Don't even try it, okay? I will catch it. I check all of it. I hate when I see stuff flagged as AI-generated text. Don't do it. You cannot submit assignments that you did not write yourself. Okay? AI is dumb too. It gets stuff wrong and it's super boring to read. I hate reading AI-generated text. It's so boring. The stuff that you guys come up with is way more interesting than the stuff that AI comes up with. So just don't even try it. Okay. All right. So in your quiz, make sure you click that you understand that plagiarism is a violation of the Honor and Ethics Code and can result in disciplinary action. And then question 12, all writing I submit this trimester will be mine and mine alone, and I will not use AI for any assignment. Click I promise. If you click I don't promise, you're not going to get points for that question, and you will get a phone call from me. Okay, so everything else after question 12 is an on your own question. So just answer those questions, write a couple of sentences for each of the written response questions, submit it when you're done. All right, we're a couple minutes over. Sorry, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Whew. Bye, everybody. Let me know if you have any questions.